What's up, everybody? Sean Johnson here from Digital Intent. I wanted to talk to you today about gated invites. When a startup is getting things moving, they will put up a gated invite. Usually the reason why they do this, they believe that it kind of drives virality in the sense that it's creating scarcity. I want in to something that I can't get into, and so that makes me more likely to want to sign up. But that's not the only reason why you should do it, and in my opinion, it's not the most important reason why you should do it. You are able to control a lot more variables from a learning perspective. You may have seen in other videos, we talk about this idea of not doing the big launch. Getting those first 1,000 or whatever it is customers is really an extension of kind of that search for product market fit. It's where you figure out, does this thing do what we wanted it to do or what our customers wanted it to do, as evidenced by things like retention and word of mouth and things like that, right? In order to maximize your learning, you want to be able to control as many of those variables as possible. When most people launch something, their playbook looks something like, I'm going to try to get written up in TechCrunch, or I'm going to post something on Product Hunt, or something like that. They go this big sort of mass, hey, we're here kind of approach. The issue with that is that you're getting a whole bunch of people who are going to just kick the tires on the product. They don't necessarily represent who your target customer is, and they don't represent, in many cases, who your best customer will ultimately be. Assuming that you have a tight customer hypothesis, you want to get feedback from those types of customers. Having a gated invite process or a gated sign-up process allows you to make sure that you fold in only people who you think represent that early sort of addressable market. If your first 1,000 customers are an extension of product market fit, you want to stay very close to them, right? You want to follow up with them. You want to study their behavior quantitatively, but you also want to talk to them over the phone, via email, in person, and if they're around, and get qualitative data as well. Find out what they don't like about the product, find out what they like about the product, find out what kind of the aha moment was for them, find out what their key frustrations are about the way that things currently work, find out what features maybe you should build, what features you should kill, all that kind of stuff. If you're capturing feedback from all different types of users, many of whom don't actually represent your core customer, your beachhead market, that's going to really dilute the data that you're going to get. You might have a lower retention rate. You might have a lower net promoter score if that's something that you're tracking. You will likely have less word of mouth. You will get a bunch of feedback around features that will be distractions because they won't necessarily be additive. You want to focus that feedback as much as you can. So by putting up a gated sign-up process, you capture all those emails. Even if you do that big launch, you capture all those emails, but now you're able to filter who you actually let in. And you're able to focus on that beachhead market hypothesis and make sure that the feedback that you receive, make sure the retention patterns that you're looking at, make sure that the net promoter scores that you're tracking, et cetera, are all being measured on that beachhead market versus the general sort of population. If you think about that, there's a virtuous kind of cycle there, because if you're a startup, you're resource constrained. And so this allows you to make sure that you are working only on the features and feedback from your beachhead market, your most important customers. It means that you're able to do that faster, which means that you probably get a better reputation with them in terms of being responsive to their feedback. You're rolling out more frequently because you're only focusing on the things that kind of matter the most. Most likely over time, to the degree that you're responsive to that feedback and that you're capturing good feedback from your beachhead market, the product is going to get better a lot faster. Your retention rates will go up. Word of mouth will go up. It'll be a very sort of virtuous cycle. So you're going to maximize your learning by doing that. I think a lot more companies should have a gated invite process when they launch, but don't think of it primarily as a neat growth hack or trick to increase virality by fear of missing out. Think of it as a mechanism to control the variables that you're wanting to control to maximize validated learning.